Today I'm going to be making some textured silver rings. I'm starting with some silver that I have recycled from offcuts and rolled out with a mill. The silver is about 5mm wide and, as you can see, just under 1mm thick. I'm using my homemade guide for measuring the length that I need. I'm going for an R-size ring here and marking the length in pencil. I'm using a jeweller's saw to cut the strip to the length that I've measured. I've lubricated the blade with beeswax to make it easier to cut and to reduce the risk of breaking the blade. To get a good solder joint, the ends of the strip need to be square so that the joint is tight. I'm just filing the ends lightly here. These bending pliers are ideal for the initial forming of the ring. The aim at this stage is not to try to get a round ring, but to make sure that the ends are aligned and tight together for soldering. It will become a bit more ring shaped later after soldering. The ring's in a clamp and I put a drop of flux on the join. I'm lightly warming this to drive off the water and to set the flux. I've placed a pallion of easy solder across the joint and I'll heat it more strongly to fuse the ends together. I'm making sure that I heat from underneath as well as on top so that the solder flows into the joint. Now it's soldered, it goes into the pickle pot. Now it's time to start making it ring shaped. I'm using a ring mandrel and a soft faced hammer to gently ease it from the rather peculiar shape it is now to perfectly round. This takes a bit of time and patience. The solder has flown around the joint a bit and left it slightly untidy. This needs to be cleaned up for a comfortable fit and a neat appearance. So I'm using a small grinder and a pendant drill to remove excess solder on the inside and the outside of the ring. I'm also lightly touching up the edges near the joint. So far we've got a smooth surface ring, but we want some texture for interest. I'm using a variety of different forming hammers to do this. This one is a round-ended one, but I'm also using a crossed peen hammer for different finishes. Once again, this takes a bit of time. And here we have the final textured finish. Hammering can raise the edge a little, so this is smoothed off with emery paper. The inside is also smoothed out in the same way. For a comfortable fit, the ring should be curved out at the edges into a shape called an anti-clastic curve. This is done with a special mandrel and a shaped soft hammer. Once again, this needs a bit of time and a lot of hammering. To get to the final finish, the rings are tumbled in stainless steel shot for an hour. This both cleans up the silver and hardens it. Once the tumbling is done, the rings have a nice finish that only needs a light polish to bring out the luster.